It's your favorite Compas, and we have you covered with plenty of NFL content on this episode. With the preseason finally over, we get into the Chargers and Rams 53-man rosters on Compas on the LA beat. Dan and Daygo and Vic, the producer, join the show as we predict NFL award winners. Even though that's a little against what Dan does, but we're gonna pick at him and we're gonna make him do it. And that reminds me, Gilberto, don't you have a question for our viewers and or listeners?
Yeah, let me talk to you. You like that, Fernando? Okay. Bad way to
Did
start
you see
here.
what the Miz did? Oh, you need to see
Okay.
what the
I'm
Miz
getting you kind of riled up there, but let me talk to you for the engagement question of the week, and it's not a football question. I am saving the grand football question for next week, week 1, as we arrive to the regular season. Who cares about the preseason? Well, I guess I do because I was right about it, but who cares? And we have a podcast about it, but who cares? Back to the question. I just went to a concert for the first time. I think I broke my streak, maybe my first concert in 7 years, 8 years. What? I don't remember. But let me know your experience, because I'm going to tell you my experience at this concert. What is the best concert you've ever attended? Let us know in the comments. And as always, from the audio, get to YouTube and comment under the video for sure. I don't know why I said
El
for
Conejo
sure.
Malo. That's been my
Oh, okay.
my
Well,
favorite concert.
if
I
you have
love
a
going to
Bad Bunny
Bad Bunny.
story, I definitely want to hear it.
Oh my God, are you kidding? The music, the baddies. But let's go to another person who obviously gets us in the mood to talk football. Let's go to Dan and Daygo now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one, welcome all to another glorious Wednesday. I know what you're thinking. You hear that voice and you think it's Dan and Daygo. Yeah, let me tell you something. That stooge tries to hold me down. That scumbag tries to keep me in the shadows. But let me tell you something. That scumbag, Gilberto, can never keep your boy down. I got that dog in me. Don't you worry about that. But anyway, do not forget, now we are officially on the road to 2K subscribers. Shout out to all of you. We appreciate all the love. Don't forget to be a compa, tell a compa. And do not forget, we got another jam-packed episode for you, all with compas on the NFL beat. What? You got compas on the little LA beat. What? You got rapid fire? What? Then you got the boys coming in and just raising all kinds of hell. You already know that's my specialty. Your boy Dan and Daygo specialty. It is what it is. But anyway, enough of the dilly-dally, Dan and Daygo. Let's get to it. All the way from across the hallway. Play the music, Nando.
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I'm Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilberto Manzano. He covers the NFL for Sports Illustrated. What's up, bro? Or should I say, whoa, what's up, bro?
That's not the type of music that I'm into now, because I am cultured. You know, I'm the type of person who likes to listen to foreign music. And I'm not talking about Mexican music. I'm talking about the music in Iceland, way over there. And
Were the Vikings, were the Viking Raiders there? Remember, we interviewed them during WrestleMania. Were they there?
Hey, they're okay. So let me tell you about the crowd that I was around at the Greek Theater. I'd never been to the Greek Theater, by the way. All I know is the movie. I kept thinking about Jonah Hill chasing the guy to get him to the Greek. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm finally here. And I'm Fernando. I lived in LA all my life. I've never been there. Like,
I am not.
That's pretty good. Diddy, by the way, Diddy's pretty good in that movie.
Oh,
but
yeah.
not to get sidetracked. So I went to this concert, and I'm not gonna, blame my partner Caroline. I'm gonna blame her friends. Shout out to Jose and Angelica. They invited us to go to this concert, and I said yes like 3 months ago. I didn't even know it was gonna be on a Monday. I
didn't even remember you said yes.
Yeah, and I was like, why'd I go to this concert? And they just pretty much told me it's a group from Iceland, and I didn't even know the name of the band until I got to the theater. And it's called Sigur Ros, I think. I may butchering, but Sigur Ros. It's Sigur Ros. There you go. And then so I get a beer, I get my tall cat and a Modelo, and the guy's like, dude, be ready.
They sell Modelo's for Sigur Ros concert,
yeah,
bro?
Sigur Ros, exactly. And I don't know if my face says I don't want to listen to this band, but he's like, dude, like, do you know what you're gonna get yourself into? I'm like, nope. prepare to be
The
sad.
banda music's across the street, brother.
Like, go there. He's like, prepare to be sad. I'm like, well, that sucks. I forgot my depression at home. And yeah, you get there and it's a very sad vibes. And this is how poorly we were. Like I wanted to like the band, but I didn't mix with the crowd. We got into a little fight, like in my head at least.
Oh,
So you get to the amphitheater or whatever it's called. The
local
Greek
reporter arrested at fight at a Sigur Ros
theater.
concert.
Like, what are you doing there to begin with? So everything is dark, and you just hear a bunch of like really like soft pitched noises. And I don't know, Fernando, if you're into like the white noise that makes you go to sleep, and it just sounds like whale music.
So it seems like you and Aaron Rodgers are involved in some of the same kind of stuff.
I'm new to this, so maybe Rogers was there, but he's probably busy with the Jets training camp there. So it's all dark, and it's like a little bit of light.
Yeah, same as Aaron Rodgers.
It was really dark, and I couldn't find my seat. So
same as Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. So me and Caroline have to go through this narrow row of seats to find their seats, and people look annoyed. Like, you're not supposed to even make noise. Like, it's supposed to be very like chill vibes, and you just pay attention. And, like,
can you imagine Dan and Daygo's loud ass there?
Get out the way, get up.
I can't find my seat.
And the worst part, once we finally get, after we make 20 people move up, there was some, I don't know what word to say. Some stubborn SOB left their drink right in front. I'm gonna walk there. Just pick it up and move it. So I had to like tiptoe around the guy, and I was like, I muttered something to my breath, like, pinche way. Something like that. So I'm already off to a bad start.
Hey.
And then I find Caroline's friends, and they're sitting right at the edge of the corner. So we went to the wrong section. We didn't have to do the whole thing of going through people. I was like, oh, great. And then I'm like, I tell Caroline, what the hell is this? Like, what kind of music? And the guys, shh, shh, shh. Like, people were like kind of already annoyed. I was like, oh man. Like, and the two people in front of us, this will be the last part of my story here. At one point, I think they told us, Caroline's friends told us that they were annoyed with us. They said something, and then they got up and they left and they moved and never came back. But we have a better view when they left. But after a while, after you kind of embrace it, it's kind of like sleepy music. I didn't hate it, but it was just kind of like.
Asleep?
There was a couple times I kind of like, and then at the end, you could tell people wanted to give them a standing ovation. I said, "You guys are terrible, bad. Like, I'm Fernando. You're the one that has the energy. I don't have it. So for me to bring it for this freaking concert tells you how bad it was. I just got up at one point at the end and I started clapping, and everybody did it. And I told Caroline, that was me. People got up because of me. So there you go. It was an experience. I'll just say that.
So okay, that. By the way, are you ever on time for any event ever?
Don't you know what? You don't have to blame me for that one, but
okay.
you can blame somebody else. I'll just say that. But
Where's
for this one, there's times when you're a little urgent, huh?
Where's the Greek theater?
Where Griffith Park is, like.
Okay.
So it was a pain to get there with traffic, all that. But for some things, you're a little more urgent. When you have no idea what you're getting yourself into, you're not as urgent. So I didn't really care. But we were like maybe 15, 20 minutes late.
Okay, no, I could tell people were annoyed by you. That's pretty good, but wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a vibe. I'll say that. But yeah, and going off of what you were saying about people from like the Vikings, you could tell a lot of them were part of that area, like Iceland, Norway, Sweden. You could tell that there's a lot of foreign languages I've never heard that going around.
Oh, really?
Did
they sound like they were angry?
I don't know, but I just felt like getting like a big old mug of beer and just doing school with people.
Should have not Corona. You have to do the vibe, bro. You can't just get a Corona. Like,
I got a
Modelo. Sorry, you have to.
Well, there is a kind of a beer that I stumbled upon not too long ago. It's like a big white blue can. It's like a big Viking on it, and it's supposed to be from Iceland. And I thought it was pretty good. I should have bought that.
You should have. That's interesting. That's all I cared about. I wanted to know about this concert. I'm glad I knew more about it. Definitely. Yeah, no, that's definitely some interesting stuff. But Gilbert, now let's get on to Compas on the LA Baba Beat. Unfortunately, we're not talking about the Minnesota Vikings, an area of now your expertise. But let's talk a little Rams 53-man roster. Any surprises?
Somewhat, again, the Rams will have a lot of
receivers again.
No, actually, no. 6 receivers, 4 tight ends, 4 running backs.
In a partridge in a pear tree.
There you go. No kickers and 2
Are
quarterbacks.
you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
Wow.
I kind of just overlooked it. Me and Victor did a House of Horns episode. Go check that out. You want more in-depth analysis of the Rams, and I'm like, they gotta have a kicker. I just don't see the name right now, but I'll figure it out later. It's like, oh wait, they don't have a kicker. So the experiment to having an undrafted rookie kicker. By the way, like, I don't know how I feel about drafting a kicker overall. Like, you see Jake Moody and the 49ers struggling, that could be a problem.
What's the dude from Jake York or York?
Oh,
York
they're talking about the guy from the Browns.
the Browns.
Yeah, the guy they traded for Dustin Hopkins, which
Yeah.
that's for the Chargers.
The guy that uploaded his highlights at halftime and then
Oh,
and then he takes
forgot
him
about
down
that.
after he misses.
Jeez.
He was a
But-
4th round draft pick. Remember Roberto? You know what's funny? Omar Navarro and I were talking about this. One of the Chargers reporters today,
Yeah.
and I'm like, remember Roberto Aguayo, like 2nd round draft pick? Like he's like, there's already enough, and he made a good point. There's already so much pressure on kickers, and then to add on top of that, you're drafted. That has to be even more pressure. Just put on
it's tricky because, like, you know, I don't really condone using a draft pick on a kicker, and then I also don't go undrafted rookie route either. And the Rams did that, and it didn't work out. And then like you look at the Raiders, they benefited from the Vikings not being patient with Daniel Carlson. He's a really good kicker. I think he was like a 3rd or 4th round pick. So you got to get some guy who goes through the motions of sucking, and then you pick him up, and his confidence, you got to build it up. So that's kind of the way. So I don't know what they're gonna do. The Rams, they could have traded with Brandon Staley and Sean McVay.
Yeah, that's what the Chargers did with. Remember, I can't remember who the guy was before, but Dustin Hopkins. They got him during. Oh, Tristan Vizcaino.
That's right.
They
tried that route too. The younger and experienced.
Exactly.
Route.
Then they let Dustin Hopkins go. Dustin Hopkins has fixed a lot of the problems that the Chargers have had since Nick Novak. I mean, he fixed a lot of their problems. He was an accurate kicker. He gets hurt. Now Cameron Dicker is the kicker, as I wrote. And he's been solid for them too. So yeah, it takes a while to kind of find your groove, I guess.
Yeah, so we'll see what they do, and I'll give you one surprise cut, which is not the biggest name, but Logan Bruss, a 3rd round pick a year ago, and it's kind of a big one for the Rams because Logan Bruss was their first pick in the 2022 draft, and it was in the 3rd round, so not as big. But when you need offensive linemen, you tend to keep one. But they just said after 1 year, he got hurt last year. Get out of here. We'll get a trade. Kevin Dotson from the Steelers came in, and he kind of became kind of the odd man out. And then my one more nugget on the Rams. I'm a little surprised that Stetson Bennett still has a job with the Rams because he was pretty bad this preseason. And then when you have guys like Colt McCoy, PJ Walker, Will Greer available, why not get an upgrade? But then again, like I told Vic, are the Rams even going to try this year? I don't know.
No. They're going to be like Fernando in his senior year of high school.
I think they're going to try to start, and then they'll like, ooh, it's a rough schedule. And then
Aaron, you don't want to go somewhere else? You don't want to go try and win a Super Bowl somewhere else? That's what it feels like. It could happen. Well, who knows? Puka make it?
Of course. I think he's going to be for sure work his way up to number 3. I'm done with Tutu Atwell. I'm even done with Van Jefferson. So we'll see you Puka, who's not really related, but close with Dana White. That's pretty cool to see that video, by the way.
UFC president Dana White. Yep, yeah. Definitely. It was interesting to see him call him a couple of weeks ago.
What about Chargers? Surprises for you?
I mean, the surprising thing to me is 2 undrafted free agents, Elijah Dotson and AJ Finley was a guy that I didn't really like. I saw his name. You know what's funny, and everybody's probably gonna say BS on this one. I actually had Finley on my initial 53-man roster. For some reason, he had just jumped out at me. I thought, oh, maybe they could keep him. Then I was like, no, you know what? I need to be realistic. It's gonna be Mark Webb. Like, he's gonna want to keep his draft pick. And it ends up being AJ Finley. I'm like, dang. And then at first I had Elijah Dotson on my 53. But then I'm like, I took him off. And yeah, they both make the team. That was pretty. The AJ Finley is interesting. Tom said that he could, because last year they took Raheem Lane. He was undrafted and he made the team. Now it's another safety undrafted, making the team.
I forget.
So
Is that streak? The streak is still alive on drafted free agents?
no. That streak, I guess,
right?
wasn't, and that wasn't exactly a streak per se. But I think, well, because Brock Anderson from the team told me no, it's not really a stat that they've had one for the last 20 years or whatever.
Okay.
So it was, it's something different. It has been, there was a streak, but I think in 2020 it ended because I don't think they, because of the whole COVID year, they didn't have one. But yeah, I thought AJ Finley, Dodson, I was just wondering what they're gonna do with him moving forward, because obviously he's gonna be the fourth back. He might fight CJ Spiller.
Isaiah.
He might fight Isaiah Spiller for that fourth spot, but I don't know. I still don't know if they'll make the roster, both of them, just because, you know, waiver wire and everything. Like, there's some names out there that I think the Chargers could benefit from. But yeah, I'm interested to see. They kept Brayden Jaimes, who I was pretty surprised about. But again, former draft pick. So
wasn't he the Lynn era? I forget which one he was in.
Who?
Jaimes, was he the 2020?
No, he was
draft?
actually the Staley 2021.
First one?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting my drafts confused.
Did you see? Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say one question on the Lynn era for sure.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see anything from Kelly finally, like year 4, and he finally has that big old run in the preseason? I'm like, it's about time.
Yeah, no, this has to be the year for him because I mean, what next year they're negative 46 over the cap, and you have him and Austin Eckler are both free agents. So what are you gonna do with either one of them? What's gonna happen with them? You know, right around how much money Austin's gonna ask for. Who knows if he gets it, but this has to be the year. I mean, this is his 4th year. Every year, that's what I wrote about the other day when we spoke to him. Every year, here comes, and then he gets hit by an injury. Like a couple of years ago, it was the fumbling issues. So he said he really likes this offensive scheme. He likes the way they're going to do things, and he thinks that this could be a big year for him and Isaiah Spiller. Obviously, Austin Eckler too, but because of this scheme, they feel like they're going to be able to command the foot, or they're going to be able to run the football well, and they feel like they're going to be able to make some moves this season. So they're pretty confident about it. So I mean, that's everything that the players have kind of told us has been true so far. Like preseason, they've been running the football a lot. Yeah, they've gotten a lot of yards. They've gained 500 yards in 3 games, but everyone needs to chill out a little bit. Justin Herbert hasn't been on the field. So but definitely, I mean, if you're a Chargers fan, you're happy with the way they've ran the football during preseason. But you know what's another thing real quick? Penalties. They haven't committed that many penalties in preseason. So that's another thing that I feel like that's one thing that Brandon said. We don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot with penalties. So pretty interesting. But that first game right off the bat, Dolphins Chargers, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be an interesting matchup. But yeah, both teams make now the whole NFL no interesting moves, but Gilbert, it's time to get a little Compas on the NFL beat. I was about to say the name, but I decided not to because it is for Compas on the NFL beat. Josh Jacobs returns. He returns to the Raiders. What did you think about that?
That kind of an expected move because everything just coming out of that building and just being around the Raiders for a couple of days, everybody was confident that Josh Jacobs is going to return. And obviously the biggest reason, you don't pass up $10 million guaranteed. That's a nice chunk of change. And we've seen the blueprint already happen with Austin Eckler, Saquon Barkley. Just add a couple incentives in there. I don't know if you saw that video. I saw it from the Pat McAfee show, social media. There you go. They had the video of Ziegler, the GM of the Raiders, with a Raiders fan, and he was just saying, "Hey, get Josh Jacobs back in. Just throw some incentives on it." And he said from $11 million to $12 million, get it done. And Ziegler was like, "Yeah, we'll get it done." And that's kind of what it worked out, $12 million. So hire that guy for a GM, and it's worked out. You know, the incentive, because that's a good way, Fernando. And the reason why I really like it, I saw somebody, it might have been like Florio or forget who it was. But they supposedly now, with the $12 million salary for 2023, if he gets franchise tag next year, it'll be $14 million. Now you're talking big time money. Like It's still not McCaffrey 17 million, but $14 million for a running back is pretty rare nowadays. I know Barkley supposedly got offered 14 million. Again, we don't know about the guarantees, but it puts pressure on the Raiders. Do you see Jacobs being a $14 million running back? And if you get stuck with a tag, you take it, Jacobs, because that'll be pretty good. You get 12 million one year, 14 the next year. So I think for him, it was a pretty good move on his agent's part.
We're lucky that here at Compas on the Beat, we get special videos.
got-
These are all the Raider fans. Look, Dad, look, Josh Jacobs is back.
That's Joe Morley and his son. Hey, we gotta get Morley and his kid here on Compas one day.
Oh, that was a really good one.
For TikTok.
That was a really good one.
Wait.
Yeah, exactly. He's that kid. He loves his dad's team, but oh my god, that was actually really good. I'm gonna tell you something. I may get hit for this one, but I think the only person that really has balls is Chris Jones. He's the only one that's staying away. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs. I know it's a different position. I know this is going to be his third contract. I get it, but he's staying away. He's like, I'm not going to do it until I get my new contract. I'm going to stay away. I'm going to do all this. So I give him mad respect for staying away from all of it, even though he knows perennially you could win your third ring in the last 5 years. And you guys have a stacked squad. You have Mahomes, you have everything. And you know that defense without him is pretty much not the same. But I get it. But I mean, that was just my kind of hot take, I guess. I just like
it's good because it kind of gives an opportunity to summarize all the holdouts because there was a
yeah.
bunch of them. Even Nick Bosa hasn't even gone to his team.
Yeah,
yet.
no, Nick Bosa and Nick Bosa. Yeah, and Nick Bosa right now, I can tell you, if he doesn't get paid, he's not playing. Like Nick Bosa is exactly
he
like
has the most leverage out of anybody right now.
Oh, 100%. I mean, with Chris, it's kind of like, well, your age, you're kind of getting to that point.
And then they just won a Super Bowl. There's no urgency there to win it. I guess you want to win every year, but it's kind of like, we just did it.
I'll tell you one thing. If Chris Jones was on the, let's just say the Chargers, and they have an urgency to win right now, then yeah, right now you have to get him signed. You have to get him in there. But a team like the Chiefs, we've won 2 out of the last 3.
Yeah.
2 out of the last 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah, like we're good. We don't have like this, that. Like here, it's like, oh, like you have to go. Like the 49ers should have signed him like 2 days, like at least last week, like when training camp
a long time ago,
bro. Like, well, I mean, training camp, like,
player in football.
Yeah, but you and I know the Bosas are machines. Like Joey, you've seen him. I don't know if you've been. Oh no, but you weren't there when Nick was there. I was gonna say, I wonder if Nick is exactly the same, where he works off to the side like Joey does, and gets loose like Joey does. But I'm just saying, like, I just think that they should have done it. But going back to Josh Jacobs, I completely agree. I think Josh Jacobs is going to help that team. The only thing is he going to have a Melvin Gordon kind of thing where it's going to take him a little bit to kind of get jump started, get going? Or is that like riding a bike? He's in great shape. Because remember, football shape, it's a good thing he came back for week 0.
A little earlier.
Where he can kind of get himself back jump started. But remember, football shape is completely different from actual shape. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what Josh Jacobs does. On the Jonathan Taylor thing, that was... It was like in Too Fast, Too Furious when Paul Walker and the other guy are playing chicken and to see who's going to move out of the way. And I guess nothing happened. So Jonathan Taylor stays put. I didn't think he was going to get moved, to be honest. Like,
really? I thought he was going to get traded for sure.
I didn't think so. I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, you have a brand new quarterback. And I know Jim Irsay, besides taking a long time to think in the bathroom, I thought you have to take a long, hard look and think about this, because you have a brand new quarterback. You have a brand new head coach. You have a lot of – you're going to need this guy in here to kind of settle everything down, run the football, do everything you need to do. And I just don't know if they'd be prepared for this season without Jonathan Taylor. So I thought it'd be a big risk if they let go of Jonathan. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't. But now, how can you get him back into the building? Can you entice him to come back? That's going to be the big question, in my opinion. Can they get him to come back? And will it take a contract, or is the relationship just irreparable?
Yeah, I think it's the latter. Like I feel like this just too awkward. They don't like. I think there's a reason why he's on POP. It's like, okay, you're gonna be away for a month. All right, get out of here while we kind of figure it out. And I kind
You
of
feel
like.
like he's injured, or yeah, he is injured, or is it
I
just
kind
to
of feel
stay
like
away?
maybe maybe he's ready to go. Like say maybe it's like a 1 week injury, and then when you go on PUP, you lose 4 games right
4 games.
automatically, and
Yeah.
then there's pressure on you. Like if you don't get off the PUP, you're gonna miss a whole year. So I think it bought him more time. I feel like because who knows, maybe he's injured and they feel like there wasn't enough like leverage there. Like he goes takes a physical, and you're gonna give him a second round pick or whatever, which I don't think they will. Then you kind of okay, what's the point? You're hurt, so let's get you on the PUP and get your value to increase. So anyway, it just feel like it's just going to be awkward all around. So you saw what happened with Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers when there's a team that wants to go all in and they kind of feel like, you know what, I think we have a roster. I think we could do it. Maybe more teams are urgent to give you a better draft package. I mean, yeah, like I don't know, like is McCaffrey deal like second round pick? Can you get that for Jonathan Taylor knowing he's going to command a big contract? I don't know, but there might be a team like say like the Bills are like, you know what, I'm tired of waiting for James Cook. Go get Jonathan Taylor, or even the Dolphins finally get cave and
But
give
they
him
don't have.
the
I don't
nod.
think either team has money though. Like the Dolphins
Yeah,
didn't even
yeah,
pay Christian Wilkins the like their
yeah. D
perennial
tackle.
all like defensive tackle. Like they didn't even pay him. By the way, do you know what's trending right now on Twitter?
No, I have not looked.
Hashtag pay Nick Bosa.
Oh, really?
So 49er fans are upset. By the way, real quick before we jump over, I need you to react to this. This is actually pretty funny. I just got this alert right now. Here we go. It's Aaron Rodgers against the Giants, mic'd up.
McCall Hardman. Bro, yeah. Show some respect, bro. Come on, what the f is that? 5 damn steps? I don't even know who you are, bro. I don't know who you don't.
And the officials having to separate Jihad Ward.
I don't even know who that guy is. I've heard of him, but
Jihad Ward, but it was just funny. Aaron Rodgers is like, I don't even know who you are, bro.
I like that. Yeah. That's good.
I think he's more team oriented, but I think he's gonna be chippy this year. Like, I especially that I want that game against the Broncos to be Sunday Night Football. I think that would be a great game to just move up to Sunday Night Football. I'd love to see the chippiness between both teams.
How about I'm gonna give you a promo for next week. I'm gonna save my Jets analysis for the season preview next week. Check it out next week. Carne Asada is coming back. So
third annual.
Yeah. By the way, I get tired of Hard Knocks every year after the second episode. And I try watching one more.
Dan and I watched the first episode. Then I think we watched the second one, and then we haven't watched since. You know what we were watching? That Florida Gators one, and it's just a Urban Meyer
is that
PR.
Good? Oh
no, hell no! They don't even touch
down.
on Aaron Hernandez.
Damn, okay, never mind.
Twins. They don't touch on any of the good stuff.
I made a mental note saying I will watch it later, but now I won't.
It's Urban Meyer's PR stunt. The same thing with Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel's was a PR stunt too. Yeah, and then even the Jake Paul one also, like, you know,
everybody has a doc now.
Yeah, there's DM on or DV, domestic violence with Johnny Manziel, with Jake Paul, with all that. Brush over it. It's like, really?
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. Like somebody that lives in Vegas told me they could have done a whole documentary on just Johnny Manziel partying in Vegas, and they brush over that like nothing. And yeah, it was true. They're just like, oh yeah, Johnny decided to go here for the weekend and party and then come back. It's like, but what? Like, tell us more about that. So, oh my God, he's really good friends with Drake. Oh my God, he's good friends with LeBron. Like, okay, but give us more. Like, oh my God, there was a rivalry between the Paul brothers when they were growing up about who had more followers. Give me more. But
I am good. I want to even if it was better, I want to watch the Paul brothers.
What did you think about the quarterbacks that got cut?
Yeah, you know what? I threw that on the rundown, but I just remember we could kind of maybe scrap that, but it's part of it. Will Greer reminded me that Trey Lance got traded last week. We hadn't even touched on that, so if you want to take a few minutes on Trey Lance.
What did you think about Trey Lance?
Other
than you were right,
the trade surprised me. Like I even did
the Cowboys. Yeah,
I had the story from SI. They told me to do 6 teams. I didn't even have the Cowboys in there. And yeah, like part of me feels like. So when I said I'll just keep it that way. Jerry Jones not giving Mike McCarthy or Dak Prescott a heads up. They're gonna pretend to be some type of way, like, oh, it's just don't worry about it. They are preparing to maybe not pay Dak Prescott because he doesn't have any more guaranteed money next year, so he's due for an extension. and then he has a massive cap hit of $59 million. That is a Jones family. You know, I don't know if the old guy still got it, but he's thinking ahead.
He's
Jerry
had it
Jones.
before.
What was that?
He's had it before.
With what?
You said I don't know if the old man still got it. I'm
I guess
asking.
you take it back off of Jimmy Johnson in the 90s, so I don't know if he ever had it. You're probably right, Fernando. Good joke. Maybe his son, Stephen Jones, knows what he's doing. And they got to pay CeeDee Lamb. They got to pay Michael Parsons. They just paid Trevon Diggs. So you're going to spend more money on Dak Prescott? Maybe you have something in Trey Lance there, and he's thinking ahead. And I kind of like it in case Trey Lance becomes a guy. And if you see Dak Prescott flame out one more time in the playoffs, like that, you can't give any more chances to this guy, right?
No.
Or do you think I'm overthinking it? Maybe Trey Lance is just a QB2, but tell me after this clip.
Yeah. Well, this is what this is what Dak Prescott had to say after. I was gonna say Dakota Prescott. Well, that's his name actually. This is what Dak Prescott had to say after finding out about the Trey Lance trade.
I mean, I can't say that I necessarily expected it. No. I understand that as business. I understand that they're probably on a timeline. They need to get something done, and as I said, he felt like that strengthened his team. To be honest with you, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. He's been in this league 8 years, been on this team. It's hard to say that I was surprised, to be honest with you.
It's funny because I think I don't think you're overthinking it, but I think Jerry Jones treats his quarterbacks like sons in a sense. So when something happens, they're like, oh, wow, like I thought we were close. You forget to separate owner and general manager and friend. And I think the players sometimes fall for it. And like, remember with Tony Romo, when they said, oh, Dak Prescott starting, Tony Romo was like, whoa, like, okay. I know he was injured and everything, but Tony Romo, same thing's now happening to Dak, where they don't believe in Dak. And they're kind of like, oh, wow, okay. So he's going to try and see what Trey Lance has. I wonder if he's kind of trying to prepare for life after Mike McCarthy too. Like,
well, that too, yeah. Because if Mike McCarthy didn't even get a heads up either, that's a bad look.
That's really bad. I mean, you know, when you hear players say, "Oh, I found out on Twitter about this or that," you're like, "Oh, wow, that's bad."
Head coach who's the offensive play caller doesn't know you're gonna bring in a high-profile quarterback. So,
what do you want to bet right now? Do you think they make Trey Lance? What's it called? Like the dude from the Saints, Hill. Taysom Hill. Do you think they try and make Trey Lance as a Taysom Hill here?
They could, but that just really makes it complicated. And then, you know, Mike McCarthy, he's so Stone Age. Like, you don't want him to mess up his Dallas West Coast offense, you know? So, I don't know.
So bad. If I'm CeeDee Lamb, I'm like, why would I want to stay here? Like, why do I want to sign an extension?
It's kind of like the 49ers blueprint. You pay your playmakers and you have your quarterback on a cheap deal. So,
well, and the thing is too, I mean, playing for the Cowboys, regardless of who you are, that pays a lot of money and endorsements. So I'm sure that's why. Yeah,
whatever Jefferson gets when he breaks the bank soon, that's another guy who needs to get paid. CeeDee Lamb will probably be right under that.
Exactly. No, and then Jamar Chase is after that. So it's a revolving door. But a guy who seems like he is always on it and could outplay any of those guys is Dan and Daygo. Let's go to him now. And when we come back, we will have Vic, the producer, and Dan and Daygo here to break down awards. Let's go to Dan and Daygo now.
You're coming back to me. Great to see you. How the hell are you doing? I hope you're doing great, having a great week. Do not forget, we also have other channels. We got a little Combat Compass. What? We got a little What's Up Bolts. What? We got a little House of Horns. What? And you're already on the main one, Compas on the Beat. What? And we also, the football season is just barely beginning, so make sure you head over to Compas FC. Then they have you covered for all things, the English Premier League, the La Liga, the Champions League, everything. Do not forget to head over there and find it out. Don't forget to be a compa, tell a compa. Shout out to all of you. We love all you guys.
Well, thank you for that, Dan and Daygo. We will see you in a couple of seconds. And if you bring any of that LA BS, you are out of here. But you guys need to see what The Miz did. The Miz was fantastic. You idiots just fall for everything. Anybody comes out here with catchphrases and you just copy them. Yep, Miz, I'm with you. But guess what? John Cena's going to be back for the next 2 months. I'm excited for that. I will be watching every single episode of SmackDown to see what John Cena has to tell us. But let's bring the guys in now and see what they got.
Hello.
Nice weekend.
Yes, I almost had a tree fall on our house here. I
Oh,
was
I
telling
saw the
Gilbert.
picture. Yeah.
No, but the hurricane was a couple of weeks ago, or the
I know,
rain
but it
dropped.
was from all the rain. So luckily we were safe and sound. Our landlord cut the tree down, and now, but it's been good. It's been a good. I had a good weekend. Thank you.
Well, at least you avoided catastrophe. Because
Yeah.
imagine doing all that work behind you again.
Yes.
That
No.
would have taken forever.
Yes. A lot of work.
I dread this, but
You already know who it is.
The
It's
background.
Dan and Daygo. Yeah. Let me talk to you. The megastar has shown up. I am absolutely hyped. How are we all doing over here? Everybody
you
good?
finally got the mic thing.
Yeah, I did. You see? Now I look
You like it?
professional. Now
Look
I look
at that
professional. Yeah, it
progress.
looks really good.
There we
Yeah, I
go.
like it. Look,
You got,
I don't know what do I do with my hands. What's up, Michael? Oh, damn.
you got Michael
Michael?
Scott looking at you.
Michael
Michael?
Scott.
High five me, Michael. Let me know if I'm coming in too loud. It's kind of close to my mouth, so this is new. So shout out to everybody.
You
It's like I tell the
look
kids.
a little small
Yeah,
too, by the way.
It's like I tell the kids, hey, I'm animated. I'm loud. I'm Hispanic. Blame my lineage. It is what it is.
I have to jump over to the what's it bolts real quick, or yeah. I have to do this. I have to do it. Oh, where is it?
Oh,
Oh,
the sound.
I have
The
it.
sound?
Yes.
That's what she said.
Oh yeah, that's where you have it.
His soundboard. He's got a soundboard over there.
I have a
Well,
soundboard.
Dan, before you continue, Fernando, did you guys win this week? Was there a game or not yet?
No, we didn't. No, we did not win. I don't
Okay.
want to talk
All right.
about it. The boys fought hard,
oh.
but it is what it is. It is what
wow.
it is. The boys fought hard, though. They didn't give up. That's all we can ask for. We got a young squad, and it's going to be some learning pains.
Okay, so can I give you my "you suck" speech to motivate you?
That's fine. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Dun, 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 dun,
Okay.
dun, 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 dun,
Wait,
dun.
stop. Let me-
You
Dan,
what an idiot. That
tell
was the you
these
suck.
kids
Yeah, the
you
Kurt
suck.
Angle.
You're the worst coach.
By the
You
way, did you
suck.
hear what Kurt
You're
Angle
fired.
said?
You're fired. You're fired.
Kurt Angle said he can't even carry his kids or play with them or do any that. His body. Like, how many times?
Let me
Oh,
tell
you know what? I saw him a couple of years ago. Yeah, no, I know. Well, he spent a lot of that money. I saw him a couple of years ago here in San Diego when they came out to do an event. And I saw somebody just like standing there like this, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder if this guy works for WWE." And then I looked closer, and it was Kurt Angle. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Don't you notice he can't move his neck? He
I
can't
know
move
it's
it.
so bad.
He
Well,
just
remember he
kinda
broke his freaking neck. So
Well, I know, but before he used to be able. You remember how athletic he was?
Yeah. So obviously, this is an extension of Compas on the NFL beat. We will be going through numerous topics, and we will be breaking them down. We'll try and be quick and efficient with this. So Dan and Daygo, no combating other people on their answers.
Look at that. He just wants me to be a stiff. Let me be a pundit. Fine.
But all right, let's start off with five time. Let's start off with 5 new teams who will make the playoffs. Dan and Daygo, you kick us off.
All right, awesome. Throw my names up there. I already forgot. I think one of them was the Patriots. I think the Patriots might make it because they have a competent OC now. Do you really not have them up there? I thought we were gonna put the banner.
Yeah, Steelers,
Pittsburgh,
Jets.
Pittsburgh is also going to be good because I mean they're usually around average. They've added some pieces, and I like Mike Tomlin. And yeah, there's going to be some new teams. There's going to be some new teams. We can just move on because you know me. I'm a stiff for these things. Who else do I have? The Jets.
Lions,
Oh, there you go. The
Panthers.
Jets. We're all hyped up. The Panthers. Yeah, la-dee-da. The NFC's weak.
You know what, Dan?
So there
I
you
feel
go.
like yours is pretty bold. I'll give you credit for that because sometimes for these exercises, you like, nah, that team's gonna stink. Like I am the culprit at that when I said the Rams are gonna be really good last year and they weren't. So it's hard for me to kind of assume who's gonna be bad or be good this year. So I like your list, Dan. By the way,
you know what I'm saying? See, this is where you and I are like sort of different. I'm better at crapping on the list. I don't want to make the list. I want to crap on it. That's my thing. I'm the crapper. I got you.
By the way, I feel like you're in a wheelchair or something. You're kind of like
Wow. Wow. Hey, Frau, I got a good one for you. Pull up Horrible Bosses with Colin Farrell when he talks about
Oh yeah. Hold on. I will. What?
Oh,
Hey, I'm still
YouTube's
getting
gonna
my
hate us
setup,
for this.
fool.
No, Dan
Careful.
and Dan, don't forget the last one was the Lions.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
See, the Lions, I know everyone's like upset because they traded DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams and all that stuff. But honestly, I think what they're trying to do, and obviously, shout out freaking MCDC, I'm a huge fan of. I think they're trying to get back to that old school football. Like, I know everyone's pissed because they drafted a middle linebacker or whatever else. But I think what they're trying to set up is that smash mouth physical football that teams aren't really expecting anymore because, like everyone talks about, it's a passing league and everybody loves to pass until you get hit over the mouth in the middle of the field or whatever else. So I think they're going to really try and put some type of defender in the middle who really makes people think twice. You remember when Ray Lewis was sitting in there and some of those guys, like receivers thought twice before crossing the middle. And I know it's a different game and it's soft. Shout out to Goodell. Thank you for ruining it. But it is what it is. So I think and I think the NFC East is weak. I don't think the Packers are going to be as good as people think. I know everybody's all excited about Jordan Love in the preseason and Matt LaFleur, the mad scientist from the Washington days and all this crap. I don't buy it. I think the Vikings are going to take a step back. So let's go Lions, dude. Motor City Dan.
All right, Dan.
Pack that water dip in there, Dan, and let's get the boys going. Come on, man.
There we are, Mark. Congratulations.
You can fire Professor Xavier. All day in a special little secret chair. I know he's up to something.
I'm not going to fire anyone.
Oh, you're not going to fire him?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Shout out to my
man.
stupid brain for that one.
Wow.
That was a good one. I hadn't even thought about that. Fire Professor Xavier.
You're welcome.
All right, let's try not to have soliloquies when we come
Okay,
talking about our
Yeah.
team. Vic, go ahead.
All right, I'll keep it short. I talked about my bold prediction for the Commanders, so I'm gonna have the Commanders, the Browns, the Bears, the Rams, and the Panthers. If you guys want to talk about some of my selections, we can talk about it. One thing I'll say about this is that I think when picking new teams that'll make the playoffs, always think about the fact that they have easier schedules than the other teams that they're going to see. I also kind of saw that Bill Barnwell talked about a couple of these teams even before I had already chosen them, like the Rams. These are all going to make, they're going to make leaps this year just because they have an easier schedule. So just keep an eye on that. I really like the Bears. I like what they've done. The Commanders on defense look really good. They'll probably start off slow, but I really like what they've done with that team. And then the Browns. The Browns are my only iffy team just because I don't know what they have in Deshaun Watson, but maybe things get better for them. And then the Panthers. Someone has to win that division, and I'm just going with the team that has the best overall roster. Hopefully, they get their quarterback situation, their rookie, provides something for them to, be good this season. But those are my 5 guys.
Remember when Bill Branwell pissed off all the Charger fans because he's like, "Oh, the Chargers should trade Justin Herbert for Deshaun Watson."
Oh yeah. Oh,
What an idiot.
yeah.
What idiots.
By the way, I thought Dan's was a little out there. Victor, you really took a couple of leaps there. But I'll give you
the
credit
Rams.
though. The Rams and the Bears are going to be tough. But I do like that you focus on the NFC because that's a little more wide open. The AFC is going to be tough. If you're going to be even if you're a pesky underdog in the AFC, it might not be your year.
Like for the Jets, it's going to be tough. Like you're going to have to kick out some.
Well, look at that. I thought about the Jets, but that schedule, the first 10 weeks is tough. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they're going to have to battle. I thought about teams in the AFC West with the Raiders, the Broncos, and even the Chargers, but I know the Broncos can make a rebound here, but I just don't know what to expect from Wilson.
How dare you?
He's my wild card.
Pipe down,
I'll-
Xavier over there.
I'll go next. Jets, Steelers, Packers, Saints, and Lions.
Packers. What a joke.
Ooh, Steelers. I like that one.
I like the Packers defense. I think their defense is really good. And I feel like their defense is going to win them games. I just went with 3 teams that have 3 really good defense. 4, because I think the Saints have a good defense as well. I got to see those guys during the joint practice. They have a lot of names that I completely forgot about, those players. So I think all 4 of those teams have good defenses, and they have quarterbacks that can either manage. Well, except for the Jets, the other teams have quarterbacks that can manage or do well for them. So competent quarterbacks, I guess, in a sense. So that's the reason why I went the way I went. But
we'll see what Jordan Love does, because I mean, you already know LaFleur's gonna be like, Kyle, hey Kyle, are you there? Can you help me, Kyle, please? Hey Kyle, they're gonna fire me. Can you please help me out?
We don't have burial of the week this week, but Dan has a cover with.
Oh, he's on there. You know his ass is on there.
I think that
am not a
one's
LaFleur
permanent.
guy.
But
that one's permanent.
all
He's
right,
on
Gilbert,
the
give us
shit
yours.
list.
Yeah, you know what? I really wanted to go Steelers, Fernando, and Kenny Pickett has really surprised me. It's preseason though, so I shouldn't get
That's the problem. That's the reason why I can't confidently pick them.
Yeah, like I don't know
I'm
if
shaky on
I don't
it.
know if he's like saying, you know what, F it, I'm gonna push it down the field because it's preseason. That could kind of be.
I think so. But then my thing is too, TJ Watt always gets hurt.
Oh yeah,
He's another
He'll
guy.
be out
I
3
know
to 4
that Pat
games.
McAfee told him on his show, "Hey, I'll donate $500,000 if you break the sack record to whatever charity you want." But that's going to be tough because I think he's always heard Minkah Fitzpatrick is a beast, but he's getting older. So yeah. But
well, the way I thought about it is kind of like, they're in the AFC. Never mind.
It's gonna be hard. even in their own division.
Yeah, and that's why for me, I have 4 NFC teams. You know, I kind of stole the Victor method. So, Jets, Saints, Packers, Lions, Panthers. I do not feel good about having the Saints and the Panthers because that's 2 NFC South teams.
Yeah.
And I really only liked. This is how terrible I was for this exercise. I only had 4. I just threw in the Panthers at the end. I'm like, I gotta give you 5. And the Panthers I actually liked before the season. And maybe you and I, Fernando, went through the same kind of Kool-Aid here. We saw the Saints in person. It's kind of like, hey, they're actually not that bad. So I threw them in there. And
Like you saw like I saw the name. Like hell, today they got rid of Bradley Roby, and I was like, whoa! I'm like, he was actually not bad during the joint
they have
practice.
some depth now in the secondary.
Dude, they had a guy named Smoke. They have a guy named Smoke Monday that released him. Guess what his freaking I told this to Jeff Miller and he couldn't stop laughing. Guess what his Twitter or his Instagram handle is? It's Tuesday.
Oh God.
It was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. It's Tuesday. Oh my God.
I was gonna say I thought about the Saints, but their coach is Dennis Allen, and
that's another.
I know
that's another
gone
issue
through
I
that
have
coaching
too.
cycle before.
See, but the thing is, like,
Frank Reich has also lost control before, so that's why Frank Reich, the offensive coordinator, is like Norv Turner. Like he's great, he does a lot of really good stuff, but Frank Reich, the head coach, it hasn't been the same.
But see, like for me, that's where I ran into the trap. I don't want to go AFC, and I want to go
for the okie doke.
Well, I might have fell for it, but then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna focus on the NFC, and I'm like, the Bears and the Rams aren't even close. And Victor, this was out of spite. After I crapped on the Commanders a week ago, I can't pick them for my 5, so I didn't do it. I let you have the Commanders.
Let the heel out.
The Panthers scare me because their offensive line was horrendous this preseason. They were playing their starters, the Panthers, like they have a terrible offensive line.
They said the Packers. I'm like, crap. I thought they had a decent offensive line.
The Panthers, like. Bryce Young actually looked decent in the 3rd game because they improved that line, but that little guy was running around for his life. And by the way, Bryce Young, I have confidence in him to, take the hits because he might not take them, and he's a smart player. He throws that ball quickly out the way, or he just gets down, and I like that. A lot of quarterbacks are dumb. They just go for the extra yards. That guy can't afford it. So he was running a lot, and it was pretty funny because kind of like Kyler Murray, right? But then when he got time,
does he play Madden too or what?
No, he does. He's actually.
By the way,
there's no Call of Duty coming out
Gold.
this year.
I heard the new
by the way,
Fortnite just dropped. Given by the kids told me the new season of Fortnite just dropped, so Kyler Murray's gonna be out 2 to 3 weeks.
Speaking of Kyler, we're gonna go next to what is one bold prediction for the NFL season.
Yeah.
But before that, I should have said this one. This one was one of the ones I thought about. Kyler Murray will not play it down this season. He has a $95 million injury clause in his contract. If he gets injured, he gets $95 million. He's not going to play it down this whole season, I don't think. I'd be very surprised.
You're saying because the Cardinals don't want to risk that.
They don't want to risk that $95 million, but I think he's going to be on the bench. But I'll go with mine first. I said that Russell Wilson would be benched this season. I guess it might not be.
See the comment that I put at the
it might not be too bold. Why not? Everybody literally is talking about the Broncos and how everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid like they were last year. They're drinking the horchata or whatever the hell you want to call it, but they're drinking it thinking, oh my God, like Sean Payton is this messiah. He's going to come in and help them. Remember,
that's fair.
Russell Wilson's not Drew Brees. Drew Brees was young. He was only like 26, 27 when he came over from the Chargers. He helped a lot of what he was doing, and then they kind of grew up together. Here, Russell Wilson doesn't know Sean Payton. Sean Payton doesn't know Russell Wilson. You've seen kind of the stuff that's been going on. Tim Patrick is now out. Jerry Jeudy's out for a while. That's going to hurt for a couple of weeks. And then can they get it all down? Can they have a running game? Their offensive line, to me, they spent all that money. That offensive line doesn't look good to me. McGlinchey, I wasn't a fan of his even when he was with.
He's already been hurt too.
No,
and he's hurt too. So and then Garrett Bowles always gets hurt for them at left tackle. So I'm just not a fan of the Broncos. I think their defense is good, but I think their defense has holes. Randy Gregory, I'm not a fan of. Frank Clark was good on the Chiefs. Can he be good here? Like, it's just a lot of question marks.
He only shows up for the playoffs. Remember, Frank Clark only shows up for the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Playoff
so
Frankie,
I think Russell Wilson at one point gets benched, and questions start arising about Sean Payton as the head coach.
I was gonna save this question, but I never got to it. So does that mean that Russell Wilson will get the Derek Carr treatment that the Raiders gave him, where they bench him so they don't have to pay him? Because he's due a bonus. Yeah. I think by like either the day after the Super Bowl or sometime, I forget. So they would need to make sure that he doesn't get injured. Kind of like what you just said about
Kyler Murray. And then I think he has to play more than 75% of he has to play like a certain percentage of the snaps. So I could see them benching him for that reason also. But then especially if halfway through the year they're already out of it, they're going to be like, you know what?
Here's the part though for Russell Wilson is like the contract is so massive that they can't even get out of it next year. Like the only way you could do is by trading him. And how can you trade a guy who's on the bench with no value? So
that's what my question is. Like, what happens if they get the first pick overall in the draft? Would they really go Marvin Harrison Jr. and say, hey, with this guy we could fix Russell Wilson? Or are they going to go, hey, Caleb Williams is that guy, let's bring him in?
No, you give somebody a third round pick to take on that contract and get out of here or something like that. Or
I think the biggest thing is twofold right there. Number one, it's not Sean Payton's quarterback. I think he's going to look to unload him 100% as soon as he can.
Bro,
I think the other thing
that's
that
a quarterback
I would say,
that he wanted, he would have kept his office in there. He would have done stuff like he came in and he said, no office. Your entourage cannot come in here whenever they want.
Yeah,
you need to keep these guys out of here.
So I think that's a huge thing. It's not his quarterback. And the other thing that I think is a question that should arise if the Broncos don't make the playoffs or they're not very good. You know, George Patton's still the GM, right?
Yeah.
George Patton should be on the hot seat after that. Not only was, the trade terrible, because I think the Seahawks clearly won it. Then you give this guy a quarterback in his 30s who hasn't looked really good, a ridiculous contract. There's no way questions don't arise about George Patton. I know supposedly everybody in the league is all hot and bothered because they like him and this and that. But I mean, he's tanking the Broncos almost single-handedly right now.
Yeah, but let's see.
Ice Team 3. Just crank the future up.
Mine, I'm gonna. It's not pretty bold, just because we've seen what's happened with the 49ers quarterbacks. But I'm gonna say that Sam Darnold will be the playoff quarterback when they get into the playoffs. Just
That's
because
bold enough.
Yeah. So
Fernando, he said that before too.
Yeah, no. I'm not taking it away from him, though. I'm saying, like, I've said that too. Like, I think Sam Darnold at one point is going to be able to let it. Can you imagine if Sam Darnold gets in here and shuts all the haters up? With that receiving crew, he should be able to. So I agree with Vic on that one.
He's the best passer in 49ers history? What did one reporter say?
The best arm talent he's ever had.
Vic, I don't think you're going to like this one, but Dan and Daygo, go with yours.
I think one of my bold predictions is Dorian Thompson-Robinson will start
Oh,
at
yeah.
some point for the Browns. I think Deshaun Watson, half of the season last year, didn't show much. I think I think he's played all 3 preseason games. No,
Nothing.
Dorian?
No,
Dorian
Watson.
Deshaun
No, Watson played the
did.
last one. He played the
Last
last one.
one.
Last one, okay.
It was a
Either
couple
way,
missed
I don't
throws
think
there.
they're completely sold. I think they're playing them because they have to at this point. And here's another one I just thought of right now.
And
Here's
fully
a bold
guaranteed
prediction.
contract.
Here's a bold prediction.
2.0.
I think Stetson Bennett or whoever the backup is for the Rams is going to end up playing at some point too.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
gonna be terrible for the Rams.
I think the Rams their first pick they got was a second round, right? And they drafted an offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken, my house of Horn Fellows.
Steve Avila.
I think one of the main reasons I'm gonna say is this. If that offensive line is as bad as it was last year, where you have a bunch of bag boys and Home Depot workers in there, Matthew Stafford's gonna have to look around and say, "Hey, dude, is this really worth putting my body through again?" Or he could clearly get hurt again. So I think it's gonna be a long season for them. So those are my two bold predictions right there, dealing with quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm
Gilbert,
up
go ahead.
for the DTR taking over in Cleveland because that is like the only way you can bring back the entire fan base in Cleveland is a new quarterback.
Yeah, because
Well, the craziness is too. All they have is Amari Cooper, in my opinion. Like the other receivers,
Elijah Moore.
How dare you,
You're not an
Donovan
Elijah
Peoples
Moore.
Jones now?
Oh no.
No, not a
The
believer.
Browns-
Njoku, I
tricky,
kind
man.
of like Njoku a little bit, but he gets hurt.
It's a lot of guys who are very inconsistent but talented. It's weird.
Yeah. Then do they still have Higgins, or did Higgins leave?
Which Higgins?
Don't they have a Higgins?
T. Higgins? That's Bengals.
Oh,
Close
my
enough.
bad.
They have a Donovan Peoples Jones. How about
Oh,
they
that's
have
what I
that?
said. Yeah. Donovan Peoples Jones. Every time I think of that guy, I think of Jim Jones for whatever reason. Freaking weirdo out there in Guyana. Yeah. You're thinking of Koresh.
My turn, right?
Yeah.
You
go
say
for it.
Koresh?
I said you're thinking of Koresh. You said
There's
there's women in
children in
yeah.
here, brother.
That was Waco.
No, but I'm
dude.
saying
By the way,
Baldwin
fun fact.
and
Fun
Jones.
fact.
Ballin'.
One of the coaches on staff, he was a former certain agent. I won't say of what. He was at Waco, which was pretty wild. He was on the perimeter of Waco. Yeah.
Oh, so
Pretty
he was
wild.
there with Koresh
Yeah, we were talking about it
inside
a
the
little
building
bit.
with him?
Huh?
Oh,
I didn't even hear what you
I thought
said.
he
No,
was
he
part-
didn't
what a
storm the
Koresh
building.
minions.
No, he didn't storm the building. That was before he was on the SWAT.
I was talking
team or
about one of his
whatever.
minions.
The Davidians?
I was talking about. I thought he was one of Koresh. I was joking. I said he's one
You're
of
an
Koresh
idiot.
minions.
You're an idiot. How
Okay,
dare
Gilbert,
you.
go ahead.
I think he was joking, but
I was joking.
yeah, he wasn't part of the cult.
Look at that. You're about to get fired. Oh, damn. I used the wrong finger.
I don't even know if mine is good. By the way, now that I'm listening to you, Fernando, a really good one would have been like Sean Payton doesn't coach as many games as Nathaniel Hackett did for the Broncos. That'd be pretty-
Ooh.
Like he's gone after like 10
No,
games.
I don't think he'd do that to Sean McVay.
Yeah, I know.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, Sean Payton I think will be around for a couple years because they gave up a first round pick for the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to.
But
That was his contract.
with George Pickens, by the way, because going off of Kenny Pickett, I'm like, if Kenny Pickett could sling the rock like that, George Pickens gonna have a big year, I feel like. And I think he was stuck behind the Steelers' terrible offensive line and terrible down the field quarterback from Kenny Pickett. So now that I see that, so I'm gonna say this: I think George Pickens will have a better season than Chris Olave, who again I didn't drink that much Kool-Aid because Chris Olave was right in front of me for Saints scrimmage, and he was putting on a show in terms of one-on-one. Remember that, Fernando? So he burned some people in one-on-one coverage, and he's really fast. I think Olave is a really good receiver, but I think it might be Garrett Wilson from that 2022 class, George Pickens, and then Olave. I don't know. That's bold. Is it out there? I don't know.
Didn't you listen to David Carr? Derek is going to probably have another MVP year and light it up. And
Yeah,
everything
Olave's
else.
going to be the offensive player of the year, apparently.
Total
Exactly,
Access decided to keep him, and all he's going to do is just freaking
I'm
cheerlead his
surprised.
brother.
I'm surprised the Raiders didn't retire 4. Honestly,
They got another
They didn't
four.
count on
Yeah, they gave it to a new guy.
right away. That tells you what they thought about Carr, dude.
Comeback player of the year last year was awarded to Geno Smith. Who takes it this year? Dan and Daygo.
So I have a good one on this one, and they're low key. I'm not gonna say my dark horse this year, but I'm gonna give him a little more credit. It's gonna be Calvin Ridley, I think. I think Calvin Ridley in that offense with Dougie P and everything else, they got, they have good skill players, they have good receivers, and I think Dougie P does a good job of working people in, putting them in different places and everything, scheming it up as a Andy Reid would and such. Similar. I just think he's very good at his job. So I expect Calvin Ridley to have a huge year this year, unless obviously he starts gambling or he has his little episodes or whatever. So
hey, but Dad, imagine if he wins at NFL Honors at the podium. He's like, I want to thank Roger Goodell for suspending me, and that's why I came back, because I was a gambler and I won this award.
I was a 25-1 odds and I won, baby.
Yeah. He was like, it was the perfect time to do some introspection.
And it's gonna be in Vegas too,
stuff.
NFL Honors.
Oh, it is in Vegas.
So,
That'd be a big old coincidence if it happens.
So I think it's gonna be Calvin Ridley.
Dépêche-toi. All right. Gilbert, go ahead.
I had to give a little reasoning.
Yeah, give me my 2 cents back. I think quarterbacks win a lot of awards, and Lamar Jackson being hurt 2 years in a row to end the season qualifies as a comeback player. So give me Lamar Jackson to win it. I'm taking the easy way out. And by the way, I was the only person that got one of these awards correct last year. Don't laugh. What did I get right? What was it?
No, the offensive player of the year with Justin Jefferson.
So yeah, Lamar
Jackson.
Wow,
what a lock! Go ahead, Vic. Picking a favorite. Dude,
I'm gonna
all year.
I'm maybe buying the Kool-Aid on the Rams, and I might be the only one because I'm having to cover this team. Yes, I might be, because I'm going with Matthew Stafford with all the injuries. They're loading up on offensive linemen, as we talked about on House of Horns. Make sure you check out the new episode, because we talked about they kept 9 linemen. Gilbert, is that what we went?
10,
is that what
10.
they went? 10 offensive linemen. They kept 4 tight ends. It looks like Sean McVay might be going away from the 11 personnel, and he might be running the ball a little bit more. He might be, protecting Matthew Stafford, because he realizes that he needs to keep him healthy, and that's why I'm going with Matthew Stafford as my comeback player of the year.
You guys are all wrong on your guys' comeback player of the year.
Safest one, that's why.
No, it's not the safest one. It's the one that's actually going to hit. DeMar Hamlin is going to be, as soon as he steps foot on that football field, they're going to award him comeback player of the year. Yeah. So, I mean,
you're right.
It's not a bold prediction. It's just what's going to happen. I think he wins it no matter what. So,
and they'll make a special award for him, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
hey, if he only plays like a month, I don't think he should get it though. He has
as soon as he steps onto that field,
he has to play like at least 10 games. Come on,
over under. He plays 10 games. Over under.
I think he plays.
I don't know if I want to play this game.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
No, he's not. All right, let's go now to offensive rookie of the year. Last year was Garrett Wilson. Who will it be this year, Gilbert?
Offensive rookie of the year, right?
Man crush, dude.
Yeah, my guy Anthony Richardson, who's been looking pretty great in preseason. Yeah, it's preseason. Who cares? But yeah, strong arm, mobile, and I think it's starting to pick up the whole the speed of the game and reading the coverages too. So yeah, there were some rocky misfires here and there, but I think overall Richardson, he's on track.
By the way, my hot take is coming up soon. Not in this one, not in the next one, but the one after this.
Okay.
Offensive rookie of the year, Dan and Daygo.
I'm gonna go with Quentin Johnston. I just think he has
Homer alert.
You know I hate these damn things, and you're over here always trying to corner me into doing this. So I'm gonna pick whoever the hell
We're
I
all
want.
picking favorites here. My guy Richardson and your guy QJ apparently.
Think about it. It's not that crazy, fool. Quentin Johnston, obviously, if we don't drink the water that's in LA, they're gonna have to worry about Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. Gerald Everett's been pretty serviceable, so he's gonna be like he's Josh Palmer, so he's not gonna be like
Jalen Guyton.
Yeah, obviously Austin Eckler, and there's
Dan and Daygo.
That's big facts. That's big facts. You should have seen it. No, never mind. I'm not gonna get into it. But anyway, there's a lot of
I love when he talks himself out of things.
There's a lot of different people there that he's not going to be required to be the number one receiver like some of these other rookies. So the attention's not going to be on him. So it's going to be perfect to get him open and get yards and everything else. Get some yaks. Some yaks.
I'm gonna go next. I'm
Oh,
gonna
wow.
drink the Andy Holloway horchata, and I'm gonna go with Jordan Addison. I think I think with Justin Jefferson, exactly. With Jordan,
The hell was that?
with Justin Jefferson receiving a lot of the attention, I think Addison's gonna get open.
Why don't you do your?
I think he's gonna be explosive, and I think Addison's gonna end up having a big year for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, can his quarterback put it on him? That's going to be interesting because I think that dude's only we're Justin Jefferson. He must be down there somewhere. So let's see if he can get Addison the ball. But I'm going to go with him. Vic, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add to yours, just saying that he fits that Adam Thielen role really well, and I think he's in for a big season if they do use him that way. I'm gonna go with Bijan Robinson from Atlanta. He's gonna get all the carries down there. We've seen what Arthur Smith does with running backs with Derrick Henry, and so I'm just expecting him to keep giving him the ball. And then with those receivers that they have, Pitts and also Drake London, it's gonna open up things for Bijan Robinson, especially out of the backfield. He's a great guy who catches the ball out of the backfield. So that's
the only reason why I couldn't say the Falcons were going to make the playoffs because the quarterback position has me
same.
because
Robinson's going to be.
They brought in a lot of like the offensive linemen that they have are pretty solid. They have good players. The only problem is that quarterback position. If they can get a quarterback, if this guy is somebody, they'll be good. But the quarterback,
I was wondering why you didn't bring them up because I remember you talked about that might be your team. Like that was.
I like them. No, I really. Well, we haven't gotten to there next week. So
okay, all right.
We'll see next week, but because I'm also talking about
Spencer Rattler.
I'm also trying to talk myself out of the Buccaneers.
Spencer Rattler.
Ritter.
That's not him.
Desmond Ritter.
Rattler.
He's still in college, bro.
I like Ole Miss or something.
Ritter, Rattler. I'm sure they're both weirdos. I don't care.
Defensive rookie of the year, Dan and Daygo.
I'm gonna go with Jack Campbell, playing out there with Motor City.
Also, homer alert.
How I'm in Detroit all of a sudden.
That's your NFC team, okay?
That is my NFC team. You know what's funny? The other day I was so hyped that football was back in the sense that we were getting going. I started rewatching the Lions Hard Knocks. I'm like, dude, this is so good. And then we started watching the Jets. I'm like, this is so boring. Like, my God. Like, dude, Robert Saleh, I don't know how many more robotic speeches he's going to deliver, but hopefully he can motivate somebody, dude. Guy might be a great mind, but he has no personality, dude. I thought he was like a lizard person or something over there. Just kind of you're kind of moving.
Vic,
you need to put some oil in the Tin Man, dude.
I'm really hyped about this Patriots defense. Bill Belichick, I don't know how he does it. He always finds talent, and now he's got a good one in Christian Gonzalez, who they drafted. Christian Gonzalez fell to them, and I think he's going to do wonders for that defense. I just think, with what they have already is just, the tough part with the Patriots is they have a tough schedule, but that defense is going to be, if it's going to not only be maybe top 5, top 3, just because all the talent they have on defense.
I am gonna go with Jalen Carter from the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously off the off the field stuff, whatever, not whatever, but like obviously that's separate. But the player, I think he's gonna have a huge impact, especially with that Eagles defensive line. I think he'll go in there and right away he'll make an impact, and I feel like he's gonna have a big season for the Eagles. Gilbert?
Hopefully he wakes up early or has a chauffeur because we know what happens when he's running late, dude.
Not good.
Not good stuff.
First of all, Dan, I don't know why you went with Jack Campbell, an outdated old school linebacker who might not even start for the Lions.
This is hilarious to me. Wait till a team you pick has to run out the clock, and we're gonna see who the hell is.
But it's such a Dan pick, inside linebacker, but I like it. There's 2 defensive players who are just ready to go right now. It's Jalen Carter and Will Anderson Jr. But Jalen Carter might get a little lost with a deep defensive line in Philadelphia, and he plays inside. Give me the edge rusher, get some sacks. Will Anderson Jr. is my guy.
Yeah, I like that play that he had. All right, here's where my hot take goes, but I will go last. Coach of the year. Vic, go ahead.
Let me see who I had.
Swinging for the stars, dude. You're swinging.
Again, Victor.
Oh,
man.
again, I'm like I said, I'm buying the Kool-Aid. I think that
Swinging.
Sean McVay, like one of the things I went back and we were talking about last year, we were talking about who wins these awards, right? That it's usually people like we talked about Sean McVay never winning it because he's always been on a good team. Well, there's no expectations with the Rams this season. If they win 9 games, I think he wins NFL Coach of the Year, and I think they sneak into the playoffs some way, somehow, because the NFC isn't that great. So that's why I went with Sean McVay. And like I said, maybe I'm buying the Kool-Aid. I'm seeing some changes. He's kind of going away from the 11 personnel from what we've seen in training camp and in preseason. So that's why I'm buying into the Kool-Aid here.
Did he win it his first year? That 1 year, 2017? I forget.
Who knows? That was so long ago at this point.
No,
I was like
I
a
look it up,
junior
but,
in college. Or
You would think he has one because people love talking
I'll
about
check.
him.
I'll check while you guys do yours. How about
Dan,
that?
go ahead.
you know what he's gonna get? He's gonna get the fastest head coach.
Yeah, he won it. He won the AP Coach of the Year in 2017.
He's gonna run up
That-
to the booth.
That year
after
kind of
one.
feels like this year, so there might be something there. Right? He came out of nowhere. It was his first year, and he made him into a playoff team.
Oh wow,
And they like his
they have pieces
personality.
there.
the legend of Sean McVay. I get
All
so
right, who's
excited
next?
to talk about him.
Sorry, who's next?
Is it
Dan.
my turn? Oh,
No.
I'm gonna go with the same pick as last year. I thought Dougie P got robbed last year, so they better make it right. Dougie P, comes in and fixes everything that Chop House Fiend, the finger guns, did in Jacksonville, and he wasn't even credited with anything. Like the fact that they hung in tough with the Chiefs who won the Super Bowl, questionable, but it is what it is. I don't know how that wasn't recognized as Coach of the Year. They gave it to Brian Daboll, which is like, I get they weren't very good and turned it around, but I mean, you went from a head coach kicking players and saying, make your damn kicks, to not knowing who's on the opponent's teams, to, actually having some competency. I think they won the division last year, didn't they?
Yeah, they
The
did.
Jaguars.
They went from worst to first. I don't know what more they wanted. I don't think
That's why I didn't get the
Dable
whole
won the
Dable thing
division.
either. Like they didn't even win their division.
yeah, that's
Exactly.
why I don't understand it.
I'm
but
with
I mean,
you, Dan.
it is what it is. I'm Dougie P.
By the way,
Justice for my
Dan,
man Dougie P.
Dougie P today cut his son, so that's a hardcore.
Shout out.
right there.
You know what? That's honestly a real one, because that tells you a lot about
Yeah.
the man, that he is thinking about the program and he has no favorites. So shout out
but
Dougie P.
he made it longer in Jaguars camp than your boy Tim Tebow, by the way.
Don't you dare start. Don't you dare start.
Gilbert.
I was going to tell you, we all know what's going to happen. He's going to get one more tryout, and then he's going to be on the coaching staff. Like, let's be real.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a
Peter
fact.
said-
What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, probably. But okay.
See?
And by the
Here
way,
we go,
Dan, you crapped on my guy Robert Saleh earlier, so he is my pick for Coach of the Year.
How do you think he accepts his award?
he is a little robotic. It kind of makes me uncomfortable too. Like when he's like, "Hey, you got to play with Aaron Rodgers. How do you feel, kid?" I'm like, you couldn't be more excited about that, but whatever.
No
Yeah, it's-
pizzazz. He'll
I don't know if
work
you
you
watched
out
that
to be
episode.
entertained.
Do you think he brings up the Crows and the Eagles during his acceptance speech?
He will definitely have a long speech, and he's a guy who wakes up and reads 10 inspirational quotes, and like the guys would like this, and then
Puts it on Instagram.
yeah, but I think he's a good. I think even though it's kind of annoying, he's a good motivator, and I think he's a good coach. And Robert Saleh's my guy.
I was so motivated when I was watching the robot.
I was telling Jeff because I was listening. Somebody was listening to the press conference of Sean McVay, and I was listening in. I feel like he'd be like, "Well, Jeff, or well, John, I think, oh, it's Jeff. Oh, yeah, are you sure it's not John?" Like, and like he just has that kind of like voice where you feel like he's gonna get your name wrong and be like, "Are you sure?" And makes you even question your own name. But all right,
Like, well, Fernando.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
exactly.
Fernando is
yeah,
one.
I'm kind of going bold on this one. I'm gonna go Brandon Staley.
Oh,
I love how this scumbag doesn't say anything for you about being a homer. God
I'm
forbid
not,
I live in a
though.
Charger.
Well,
I have logic behind it.
I respect Fernando as a
And I'm a
reporter.
moron.
Okay,
I had nothing. All right.
No.
you're a
No,
homophobe.
yours is good, but it's just a repeat. So the reason why I'm going Brandon Staley is because I feel like your offensive and defensive coordinator, well, offensive coordinator, you got Kellen Moore. If that offense is exactly what it's billed to be, then that offense is going to be high powered. Now on defense, they kind of have made the necessary moves to put it together. Now it's can they stay healthy? Going into the season so far, Dan, I'll do this for you. Knock on wood, they are healthy going into this year. So it's can you stay healthy? Can you avoid mistakes? And early on, I mean, they have a favorable schedule. If they can start the season off, I don't know, before they get into their hard stretch, 5-2, 6-1, even I don't even know. Not 4-3. You have to be 5-2 or something like that. But if they can get off to a hot start, the way they usually do, because Gilbert, we know they usually start off 4-2. They kind of start off on a good place the first 2 years of Staley, but they've been 9-8, 10-7. I expect it to be maybe even more this year. I think Brandon Staley went from a hero in 2021, the new age, the new coach, the new this, to hated last year. And even last year, I couldn't believe the stupidity that was coming out of some of these pundits' mouths. They were like, "Oh, Brandon Staley's a guy that goes for it on every single fourth down." He barely even went for it last year. You could tell his mentality changed a little bit. I think because the pressure kind of got to him a little bit. But I think Brandon, because on the busing with the boys, I know I'm going off, but Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were asked, "Hey, how do you guys feel about going for it on fourth down?" He's like, "Are you kidding? With the kind of offense we have with Justin Herbert and us, we want to go for it. That's our mentality. We had to beg them last year to go for it on certain opportunities because we feel like we have the team to go for it and get it." And they're like, "Oh, really?" They're like, "Hell yeah, we want to go for it. We don't want the ball to depend on somebody else. We want to be able to go for it and win it." So I think Brandon Staley kind of jumps back into favor in the NFL, and he wins Coach of the Year, and he wins comeback Coach of the Year, and he wins Coach of the Year as well.
That should be an award.
But I think he gets back into favor with people because I really do think that they're going to be better than what people expect. They're not really being talked about all that much, I think. And I feel like that's kind of better for them when nobody's talking about them because obviously they didn't make any moves in free agency except for bringing Eric Kendrick. So,
but for Fernando, I feel like that one thing that might hurt them if the offense goes off, who's going to get the credit? Kellen Moore, I feel like.
But
he needs to have a really dominant defense, I feel like.
That's the thing. And it looks like they do have the playmakers. I mean, honestly, it kind of feels like Thule and I really think that this defense is going to depend on Thule and Rumph a lot. Like, can you spell Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack? Can you guys be impact players? Last year we saw it, Gilbert. Like, these guys did not have an impact. There was no pass rushing impact besides Khalil Mack, and it's like, okay, now can you guys be impact? Thule looks like the real deal. I mean, I saw him a couple of times with the Saints, and he was getting back there. He was gaining pressure. Morgan Fox, I thought, was very underrated last year. I think he's had a good start. So I think they're going to be better against the run. The only thing is, can you now take that next step on your defense? And it seems like they kind of do have some good pieces, but I'm just kind of going off of what I've seen the first 3 years, and every year they improve slowly with Brandon Staley. So I think, and honestly, Gilbert, he hasn't lost the locker room, and that's important. Even during the tough times of the last 2 seasons, he has not lost the locker room at any point. So I have to give him a big credit for that. But I agree with you. Now thinking about it, I agree with you too. I think Kellen Moore will get the credit if it's just the offense. So if it's the defense as well, then he's going to get the full-on credit. But the offense and the defense need to be clicking. Because special teams, we already saw last year, Gilbert, they were the best special teams in the NFL. So if you can have a top 5 offense, top 5 special teams, and you can have a top 15 defense, I think you're honestly going to be on a good pace.
I have one question for you. My only concern with him is will he go back to being aggressive like he was? Because I think you missed that last season. Now, do you think he'll actually do it?
It sounds like they are sounds like the players are really pushing him to go back to that. I guess I'm gonna have to now. I was actually gonna wait till next week to ask him about all that, but I mean, I guess I'll ask him on
what it could have been also. He might have just lost faith in Lombardi last season at some point.
That is true as well. But I mean, in certain situations, like how many times? Like there was a couple of times where they that one play call against the Raiders in Las Vegas when it was 4th and 2 or 4th and 1.
Yeah,
and backed up in your own end zone. and you decided to run it up the middle with Austin Eckler. I was like, whoa. You have Keenan Allen, you have Mike, you have Palmer. Like, why wouldn't you just?
More importantly, you have the son of Odin. The son.
Like, so I guess, I mean, I really think
Wasn't
that
it Joshua Kelly? But I forget. But
no, it was
a
Austin
bad
Eckler.
call. But yeah.
No, remember Austin Eckler in that game played almost every single snap.
Yeah,
because they just didn't trust any other running back besides him. So, but
one thing I'll tell you, I hope the beard is starting to signal. You know, 1 year he was loved, 1 year he was hated. Let's start the villain arc, baby. The villain origin story is starting now.
And you know what's funny? And
Dial it up.
This is a little insight that I saw today. Brandon, after practice, was shooting the crap with Keenan, with Mike, and with some other guys. He challenged them to a crossbar challenge. Ooh. So the guys were throwing the football. They were trying to nail the crossbar. And one of those, I just hear somebody yelp out like they got injured. And I turn around, Mike Williams on the ground. I'm like, whoa. And he was like laughing because he was pissed because he had missed the crossbar, I guess, by that much. But Brandon was having fun with those guys. And I'm telling you, like, when you see that kind of stuff, you're like, okay, you can tell they still enjoy
They're building that chemistry. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's going to go a huge way for these guys. I mean, especially moving forward in this season. So I know it's a little bit of a bold prediction, but if you kind of see the kind of way they've gone, it seems like this year they should be able to take that next step forward, especially with Kellen Moore now there. And that's another reason why I think Russell Wilson's going to get benched too. Joe Lombardi's there as the offensive coordinator. So, but his offense kind of fits what old coach or quarterback who maybe has no more arm or athleticism.
Okay, move on.
So. Okay, but let's go now to offensive player of the year. Wait, actually, no. I have to ask you. So what? So you think what do you think about that?
About your take?
Yeah.
I think it's a little out there.
Okay, I thought so too.
I think the Kellen Moore thing is gonna unfortunately take some shine off him because.
But you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, like I think they're gonna be a good team, and we'll get into it more next week. But I think the Chargers are gonna be in a good position. And so the one thing that you got to do to get this award is to win games. If you can do that, then you're gonna be in the conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Never mind. I was gonna say, can you imagine if like, hey,
they need to win the division. They're like, if you win the division over the Chiefs and you knock the Chiefs streak off, that's what they need to do for him to get Coach of the Year.
That's why I put like when I did the schedule for the Chargers, I'm like that last game of the season in a perfect world, that last game of the season's on Sunday Night Football. It's for the division, Chargers versus Chiefs. Sunday Night Football, Mahomes versus Herbert. Who wins it? And I'm like, but in all reality, this will probably be the Chiefs rest everybody and see what happens. But I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. But comeback player of the year, or my bad, offensive player of the year. I've talked enough. Dan, go ahead.
I'm just gonna pick an easy one. I'm gonna take the safe way out. Justin Jefferson. We already know what he does. The Viking is gonna lead the invasion. Shout out.
All right.
Wow. Bold.
One more.
I get Super Bowl too, not even trying at all.
I get scorched because I speak too long. Now I speak less. I get yelled at the same time. Jesus' name. I can't do it all.
That's true.
Gilbert, go ahead.
Yeah, mine is definitely bold. And I don't know if you guys are picking up on this, but Robert Saleh, not Garrett Wilson, offensive player of the year. I am on the Garrett Wilson hype train. I think he's gonna have a big second year. And I think the trend here is wide receivers after their third year because Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson. I'm a little early on Garrett Wilson, but I still like him with Aaron Rodgers, so I'll take him.
That's a good pick.
I'm going to go Jamar Chase for obvious reasons. I think their offense is going to be good.
That might be the guy.
Jamar Chase, huh?
He's probably the favorite, because that trend that I just told you, the third-year guys, like he's probably nice.
Yeah, that's why I think it's going to be him. Vic?
I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey. I really like how he's worked into that offense with the 49ers. I think Kyle Shanahan, that's why he kind of got rid of Trey Lance, is because he can go and use either Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy or any other quarterback. And what Christian McCaffrey does for that offense works for what his scheme is. So I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey.
All right. I'm going to go. Oh, wait. No, my bad. Defensive player of the year. Last year was Nick Bosa. I'm going to go first. I think Micah Parsons takes it. I think Micah Parsons is going to take that next level and his ascension. Gilbert, I think we spoke about this the other day where I'm like, can you imagine if they would have chosen Micah Parsons and if they would have had Micah Parsons and Nick Bosa instead of Trey Lance?
Well, that pick originally, the 12th was the 49ers. But
yeah,
the Trey Lance
that's what I'm saying. So that would have been incredible. Dan, go ahead.
That's why you don't trade up for quarterbacks or rush it. Dan and Daygo knows a few things about a few things, fellas. I'm not just crazy in sunglasses screaming. But anyway, I'm going to give a hog some love, dude. I'm going to go with Quentin Williams. He just got paid. Hopefully he's going to be dominant up front. And, you know, with Robert Saleh's defense and everything last year, they were pretty good. They were just missing an offensive game. So maybe this year he's going to take that next step, that he can get after it and understand that they're going to score points also. His offense is going to score points. So I'm going to go with Quentin Williams. He just got paid. He's probably going to go off this year.
Vic?
Gotta prove he's worth that contract.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Homer pick here with
Homer
Max
alert.
Crosby. Exactly. Like I love what I'm hearing in terms of what he's been doing in training camp and also in the preseason. I can't wait to see what is in store for him. He has a little bit of help now on that defensive line, you know, with Wilson, and then I don't know what's going on with Chandler Jones, but in terms of, you know, the defensive line, it looks a lot better than it's been the last couple of years, and so I can't wait to see what's in store for him. But I have him as a defensive player of the year.
Gilbert?
This is where I got screwed for going or putting my name last. I actually wanted to go Michael Parsons. Okay, just taken. Max Crosby, taken. And I like yours, Dan. Quentin Williams. Like, it's tough for the inside guys, but then you saw Aaron Donald get it, and then
Chris Jones.
Inside guys they're taking off lately. So I like that one. So for me, but I like to kind of favor the edge rushers a little more. I don't know how I feel about the Browns, but they did help out Myles Garrett, so that could be a good pick for me. What was that?
Said I think it's gonna be ugly.
Well, maybe offensively, but like they got Zadarius Smith, Dalvin Tomlinson, so he has some help up top, and that was kind of the issue. He was always kind of like Max Crosby by himself. So I think Myles Garrett's
Davion Clown. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, get out.
He's gone.
No, I know. I've never rated that guy. But, ever since he took that guy's helmet off, like I've never
shout out.
Yeah. If Garrett wins the award, watch out for your head. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I was actually talking about Davion Clowney when he took the head off of.
Talking about the
Michigan player. No.
Okay,
no, but I know what you're talking about. All right, it is now time for the MVP.
Who cares? Who cares?
The Kobe Bryant Most Valuable Player Award. Who is it going to go to? Dan and Daygo.
I'm just going to be quick. It's going to go to Josh Allen because no one cares. They're going to choke in the playoffs again, and they're going to try and give him something so he feels better about himself. He might have a big year unless Stephon Diggs obviously wants out and all that stuff, or who knows? Maybe they'll go with their darling Patrick Mahomes again. But I'll go with Josh Allen because who cares? Super Bowl MVP is the only one that matters.
I'm going to drink the Dan and Daygo Kool-Aid, and I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. Wow. I'm going to say that he has a big year. As Gilbert talked about, the third year is always really important for quarterbacks. I think he takes the leap now that he's been in Doug Peterson's offense for a year. And I think and you also, guys, think about this. The AFC South isn't going to be that good. And so he can rack up some wins there and then get some MVP votes out of it.
I'm going to go 2 for 1. I will go Joe Burrow wins MVP while Jamar Chase wins Offensive Player of the Year. Dependent position. So I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. Dan, you're not going to be happy about this next one, but Gilbert, go ahead.
I already saw.
I drank the Kool-Aid from Dan too, and everybody's going with LA picks. I got to get one in there. And I wanted to go Jalen Hurts a little bit, but then I'm like, there's a thing about
Jalen.
I wanted to, but
no,
then
just do it. Don't curse him.
The problem is that what's name is gone now.
Yeah, there's a lot of coaching changes, and then when you make it to the Super Bowl, you tend to kind of get fatigued the next year. So a guy who's ready to go, primed and ready with a new OC who's gonna get all the credit, not Brandon Staley. I don't know.
Who cares?
Justin Herbert, the son of Odin. There you go. The Thor of himself. There you go.
You are terrible.
You will thank me later, but like you mentioned,
no, I won't.
You got the 4 wide receivers right there. You got Austin Eckler. You got a new OC. It's
So
now
last year I was crazy because I was saying he was the best quarterback in the league, doing what he did. All of a sudden this year, I'm the sanest person on earth. I don't know what type of Kool-Aid you're drinking.
It's not my
there,
fault. You
guys.
don't believe in your guy as much as I do. So what does that say about
No,
you?
I believe in him, but I don't give a rat's ass about MVPs or participation trophies. I want him to get his ring, dude. That's what he needs, a Super Bowl MVP.
Well,
He's the Dan and Daygo is the Paul Heyman to Justin Herbert's Roman Reigns. That's how it goes. So that's what we talk about on What's Up Bolts. We always put up videos.
I am buying this the OC kind of more helping out Herbert and then the passing game, using every area of the field.
That's what I've been saying. We didn't see anything in like people were like, oh, in training camp, they were like, oh, especially all the reporters on Twitter, they were like, I understand this offense now. We haven't seen anything. It's all vanilla.
I thought one quote that I saw from a reporter that was really interesting was, I don't understand how after watching Herbert, I don't understand how the Chargers lose because he's so. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I was standing right with him when he tweeted that out. He's like, I'm gonna piss off, he's like, I'm sure this tweet's gonna piss off a lot of Raider fans, and I don't know if it did or not, but I was laughing at that. Vic and Adam are always great guys.
Yeah,
can't wait to hang out with them again. Maybe
out to the Vegas crew. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. All right.
We still got another one.
Last one.
Now decided to be disrespectful.
All right, I'll go first. Bill Belichick, plain and simple. You haven't won anything. You haven't made the playoffs since Tom Brady left. It's old man. Your old Yeller starting to get kind of old.
Don't shoot him.
It's starting to get. Hey, you guys saw that quote from Matthew Stafford's wife. Imagine Bill Belichick. If that's happening to the quarterback of a NFL team, can you imagine the 72-year-old head coach? At least Pete Carroll's in there slinging the football.
Shout out.
Just standing there like Palpatine. At one point, Palpatine gets killed.
Who cares about Stafford's wife? What did he
maybe it's time.
Who cares about Stafford's wife? What did she say?
She said that he's having a hard time gaining a relationship with the new players, that he wants them to put down their phones and to pay attention, but that they're on their phones. And
he sounds a lot like that.
Yeah, he sounds like you and Stafford would be friends.
Things?
Yeah.
Pillow talk is locker room things. Wow.
Well, remember, what's his name? Josh McDaniels' wife was the one that said the stuff about
some of these people need to chill
about Ursay.
It's like I'm not gonna get into it, but that's crazy, dude. You gotta keep that.
But yeah, I think Bill Belichick is starting to get there.
So disrespectful.
And it might be time to give him one of those. Might be time to give him one of those gold watches and thank him for all of his years of service.
You're a scumbag. You're a scumbag.
Oh yeah, watch this. Dan and Daygo, who's on the hot seat?
Oh, Sean McVay, 100%. He's on the.
Not LaFleur.
100% he's on the hot seat. I took heat the other day because I was talking to Sir Eric. Shout out. I said Sean McVay's overrated, and everyone looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, look at what he's done. The only time he wins a Super Bowl or was relevant was the year they screwed out the freaking Saints because they wanted the Rams in the Super Bowl. And the other one was because he traded and magically all these people got cut. And he's like, oh, come on over here. Let's kick the bucket down 30 years and all this stuff. Now that he actually has to coach and make some hard decisions, all of a sudden we're having some problems. So I think, and honestly, respect, whatever it is. He won a Super Bowl, fine, whatever. What do the kids say? Sus? The kids say sus.
Yeah, sus.
Little sus to me, but all right.
So are you saying he's mid?
Oh, I think he's mid. I don't understand the hype, but it is what it is.
All right.
Should we call little Daniel and get him on
the
here
only
so
thing
that
I'll
he can
say
talk
about him is, in all honesty, I think Les Snead, Kroenke, and some of the guys see they're writing on the wall, and they're going to go through a tough rebuild.
All right, stop brizzing. All right,
his contract's probably huge. Why am I getting cut off? I'm talking about actual stuff and not trying to distract.
Do you want little Daniel on here to give us
Sean
pointers on
McVay.
new generation talk or no?
Oh, I'm getting all the translations. I just learned Riz not too long
I was gonna say,
ago.
what's the Riz at?
Do you want to get little Daniel on here?
No, he's garbage. He's an idiot. Riz is the ability to talk to girls or whatever. It's really stupid.
Really?
Oh, my Riz over the weekend, huh?
You're able to pull, as we used to say.
Your Riz is with magnets for people who are for the streets. That's a different thing. I applied to street correctly also over the weekend. Yeah, so that's what Fernando wants to do. He wants to hang out with the streets, and he wants to be disrespectful over here. Blasphemous. Blasphemous.
All right, let's go. Move on.
All right, here I'll go next while Fernando composes himself. I was gonna go with Mike McCarthy, but I'm gonna throw a curveball and say Robert Saleh. Yes. I'm gonna say I think I've kind of been listening to what everybody's been saying in terms of what Aaron Rodgers brings. Remember, he eventually is gonna get his head coach fired. And he didn't do it in the old regime, and I think he's going to get his boy Hackett made the head coach eventually.
Yeah. Turn.
So I'm going to go with Robert Saleh.
Wow. I feel like we're just picking all our coach of the year candidates. So I'm going to take Doug Peterson then. No.
How dare you? Don't you dare come after my boy.
Dan, are you a cologne connoisseur?
That's streets. When fellas,
Go
real quick.
Go ahead, Gilbert.
Fellas, real quick. If someone tells you of the opposite gender, they're a cologne connoisseur of men, streets. Just avoid. Avoid.
Okay.
Don't ask her to marry you.
All right. This one pains me because he's a friend of the show, the compa, real OG, Ron Rivera. But when you get new ownership and you've been there 3 years and you haven't made the playoffs, a lot of pressure. But Riverboat Ron understands that. Brought in Eric Bieniemy to help him out. And I saw the quote that he told Albert Breer about how much he really likes Sam Howell. I don't know. I like how optimistic he is, but it's gonna be kind of a uphill battle. So if it doesn't go well for Ron Rivera, he's gonna probably.
Vic says that the Commanders are gonna make the playoffs. Gilbert says
my ride or die
Ron
team.
Rivera's on the hot seat.
Hey, I hope
Dan
Victor's
says
right
that,
because I like Ron Rivera.
Dan says that Sean McVay is on the hot seat. Vic gives him coach of the year. So that's gonna be interesting. Folks, thank you so much for checking out another episode of Compas on the Beat. Hey, next week, you guys aren't going to want to miss it. It's Carne Asada time with the Compas, our third annual Carne Asada. So you won't want to miss it. We have some fun stuff planned for that. So make sure you guys tune in. Don't forget to check out everything else on Compas on the Beat Network, compasonthemerch.com, compasonthebeat.com. I think I butchered the website, didn't I?
What is it? What you say?
Compasonthebeatmerch.com.
No, that's it.
No, it still counts. Yeah.
Okay.
We got 2 domains. We'll unleash the other one soon.
There you go. And then don't forget to check out House of Horns and What's Up Bolts as we break down the 53-man rosters on each team. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of information out of both shows. Don't forget to check out everything else on Compas on the Beat, Compas FC, Combat Compas, and everything else. Do not forget to subscribe to both House of Horns and What's Up Bolts. The season's about to start next week, week 1. So make sure you guys are on it. Thank you guys so much for checking out another episode of Compas on the Beat. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you guys so much. But for the time being, Gilbert, ¿sabes qué? Vámonos.
Gotta go. I'm over here yawning like I'm at the concert again. Yeah. We went to Fernando again. As you guys know from the show, if that person's in the streets, they're not a Riz. I don't know. Whatever. Let's get off and not go to the streets. Nos vamos, pues, vámonos.